Hey, job seeker, welcome to episode 11 of the JobsPlus JobsCast. JobsCast is our virtual job fair where we're going to chat with a local employer and they have some immediate openings and we get some perspective from them on culture, pay, hours, benefits, and more. If at any point you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat and we're going to do our best to get an answer to you by the time we're done. At JobsPlus, you're going to hear the phrase empowerment through employment a lot, because we recognize all the opportunities that employment opens up to each of us as it leads us down a path of self-sufficiency. But everybody's path is different, and while you walk your own path, JobsPlus is here to support and encourage you. J.W. Marriott, founder of Marriott Corporation, is attributed with saying, "Success seems to be connected to action. Successful people keep moving. They make mistakes, but they never quit." I remember I was probably 16 years old. We were hiking in the high peaks and had done a mountain range that had, 6 or 7 total peaks in that day. And one person, about 5 mountains in, had sprained his ankle. And there was really no turning back. There was only going forward. Our progress and movement, however, came to what felt like a screeching halt. In reality, we moved down to what was more the pace of like literal baby steps. We got down off the last mountain to the trail back to camp just after sunset, just in time for the last light of the day to go dim. The only light we had was a lighter one of us had in our backpacks, and all of our flashlights were back at camp. Our progress became painfully slow. And I tell you, in the middle of bear country, every rotting tree stump we passed looked like a bear until we flicked the lighter on just long enough to realize it wasn't. It took us forever to go that last mile and a half, just in absolute darkness. But what made us successful was just simply putting one foot in front of the other until we finally set foot in our camp long after we had planned to. I think it was like 11 at night. My point, like Mr. Marriott says, that if you want to be successful in achieving your goals, you have to keep moving, keep trying, keep striving. There's not a particular speed. We all have our own pace. For some, it's an all-out sprint, but for others, it's slow, methodic baby steps. But if you keep moving in the direction of your goals, you're going to find success. And on your journey, you're going to find failure. You're going to make missteps and mistakes, and it will be scary at times, but keep moving. So with that, let's jump into today's conversation. Hey, everybody. I want you to meet Sandy Bradbury, Employment Administrator with Housing Visions. Sandy, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day out there that we're both having to enjoy from inside.
It is.
But tell me a little bit about Housing Visions and particularly, why do you love working there?
Housing Visions is a nonprofit company that develops, constructs, and manages real estate all over New York State as well as Pennsylvania. We have been in business for over 30 years and revitalized neighborhoods and communities. We have built a veterans home. We have built a home for domestic violence, people that have been affected by domestic violence. We have affordable housing for people out there. Why do I love working for Housing Visions? I love it because of the fact that it's a small company. We have probably right now about 85 employees, and everybody is wonderful. Everybody works great as a team, and everybody is really committed to what Housing Visions is doing.
That's great. I love the kind of the mission and the vision of Housing Visions. Had some opportunity when I was over at Salvation Army to witness great big project that you guys were a huge part of, and doing some great things, sheltering women of all different needs and capacities kind of over right here outside of the city. And so you guys are really doing some incredible things. And I consider it an honor to have you guys on the JobsCast today to make opportunities like that for people who could use them and be a part of a mission like that. But you guys have a number of roles that you're hiring for. What are the big ones that you want to talk about today?
So two major roles. The biggest one we have is maintenance techs. Once we get our properties built and we get them filled, we need people to come in and keep those properties going. And so we're desperately needing some maintenance techs. Our maintenance techs do everything from curb appeal, which means, taking care of the grounds, picking up trash, mowing the lawn, cutting bushes, to doing work orders. Our tenants call in and their refrigerator's broke, their toilet's overflowing, they have an outlet that doesn't work. And then they do apartment turnovers. They have somebody move out, they have to go in and completely redo the apartment so that it's ready for the next tenants to move in. And by saying that, it is a job that you could be, usually the guys meet, we have a team, usually they meet in the morning to go over what needs to be done for the day. And, you can have that set out in stone, but 5 minutes after you walk out of the door, there could be a major emergency that a whole building's down on heat or air conditioning and everything changes. So with the maintenance tech, you do have to be someone that's willing to, turn on a dime. You start out maybe doing some lawn work and then you get called from the office. I need you to go handle an emergency work order, but your lawn's not finished. You need to be okay with that and be able to prioritize. The other jobs that we're trying to fill, here in Syracuse, we just had an opening for a property manager on our north side. And our property managers basically show the apartments. They qualify the candidates because they're affordable housing. They have to qualify the candidates. They do oversee maintenance and, send them to the work orders or the apartment turnovers. There's a lot of rules involved with it because we do low-income housing and HUD and tax credits, so they have to be able to learn the rules and everything like that. Right now, both of our property manager and our maintenance crew, they're on summer hours. So they are 7 to 4:30 Monday through Thursday and 7:30 to 11:30 on Friday. So that's great. You have a nice long weekend. I will tell you, with the maintenance tech position, you are required to be on call, but once we get our team built up, because we're a little short now, but once we get our team built up, you're only on call like once every 6th weekend. And a lot of the times, the guys swap. When a holiday comes around, we do pay a $100 bonus in addition to whatever overtime you work on a holiday. Sometimes they swap. This one doesn't have kids and this one does. So this one's willing to work Christmas and this one would rather not. So there is always the option of swapping the on-call, but it is required. We have on-call on the weekends and on-call during the week where they switch the phones out. As far as the pay for the maintenance techs, that ranges from $16 to $20 an hour, depending on your experience. You have to be well-versed in, I say well-versed, not really well-versed, but you have to be a jack of all trades. You have to be able to do a little carpentry, do a little electrician work. You have to be able to do some plumbing. You have to be able to do some painting. When I say electric work, you need to be able to go and, fix a light switch or an outlet. Same with plumbing. If you got to have a little plumbing, you got to be able to fix a faucet or replace a toilet. Anything that is major, we sub out, but you at least have to know how to do some fixing. It's great if you have any HVAC experience. If not, it's hard to come by. But and then one of the requirements is you do have to have a driver's license because you do operate a company vehicle. So that, unfortunately, is one of the requirements. We do have some maintenance laborers that don't have their license, that aren't required to drive the company truck. They do a lot of our cleaning in the apartments and stuff, but we're pretty much full up on laborers. We really do need the techs. I was just going to say with the property managers, the pay runs from 17 to 19 an hour, again, depending on your experience. We're not necessarily looking for someone with previous property manager experience. We are looking for somebody that has good customer service experience because you're dealing with a very diverse group of tenants.
That's great. As you were talking, it's definitely, that jack of all trades definitely came to mind, and probably I would imagine, a little bit of patience here and there too, because you're not only dealing with the issues as they come up and potentially transitioning, but you're dealing with people that may also be a little bit irritated by the fact that something's not working, or you're coming into a situation that so there's some people skills probably involved in that too, right?
Absolutely. People that may be irritated, and we also have a lot of our tenants that may speak very little English, or maybe only one person in the apartment out of the family speaks English. So yeah, patience is always a virtue.
Absolutely. I have the same problem at my house, but I'm usually the one irritated. I'm also the one that has to fix it. So quick question in terms of just the roles themselves, in background checks, education level, any assessments. Talk to me a little bit about the onboarding process and what's involved in that.
Sure. So when I get an application in, I take a look at it, see, if they have the basic skills that we're looking for. I will do a phone screen, call the applicant up, and just go through the criteria. Tell me about your electrical skills. Tell me about your plumbing skills. Once that is done and I feel like they're a qualified candidate, I forward that on to our, in the case of maintenance, our facilities manager, and usually the area manager, to take a look at, and then they let me know if they're interested in interviewing, at which point I will call the candidate back and set up an interview. Once the interview is done, and we get to the point of actually doing a job offer, we start with a contingent job offer. And the reason we do that is, yes, we do a background check. We do a license check to make sure that you have a valid driver's license. And we do reference checks. We have to have 3 professional references. Turnaround on that can be as little as, I've done it in as quick as 2 days. If you have nothing on your background, and if all of your references are aware that I will be calling, I can get it done quick. Usually if there is anything on the background, it takes a little bit longer to come back. And if I can't get a hold of your references and we're going back and forth and, please, I can't get a hold of this person, please send me another one. So that can be lengthy if you're not prepared and if you haven't prepared your references. As far as the background check, we look at everything. If you have a past, it's not a guarantee that you won't get a job. We have to look at it. We have to see how far back it goes and what exactly it is, because you are dealing with our tenants. So once we do that and everything is good on that end with the background check, the license, and the references, we'll call you with a firm job offer, at which point we talk about a starting date. Some of our candidates need to give a 2-week notice, which we totally understand. Others, maybe they're out of work and they can start on Monday, which is great. The sooner the better as far as we're concerned.
That's great. That's great. How about in terms of, once you've got your foot in the door, maybe you are the maintenance laborer, maybe you're a maintenance tech. Where can you go within the organization from there? What does growth look like for motivated individuals that want to kind of move up in the company and get a little further?
Well, we absolutely love to promote from within. We have a property manager that was here on the east side that worked with us for 3 years, and just was recently promoted to the area manager. So now she oversees the north side, the south side, and the east side. We have a maintenance tech in Utica same thing. He was with us for 2 years. He showed great promise. We upgraded him to a supervisor, and he oversaw the maintenance team in Utica. Yeah, so and if for some reason we have an opening in corporate, we've had a lot of people that have been with the company for years that, started low and now are executive vice presidents and presidents. So we've got the opportunity to grow for sure. And, Housing Visions is growing. We've got, the potential, if anybody was interested in maybe transferring, we've got places all over New York State.
That's great. You answered and predicted my next question, which because I know you guys are not just local here to Syracuse.
No,
so if an opportunity to move out of the area and go into Utica or some of the other areas kind of outside of the general Syracuse area, there's opportunity there to transfer and find some ability in another portion of the company. So that's
absolutely.
really great.
Yep.
Well, that's great. So tell me a little bit quickly, what's the best way for people to apply? And actually, you know what? Let's step back one quick step, and I'll ask you this other question first. In terms of anybody who might be work limited in terms of hours or in ability, are there and whether there are necessarily now or not now those openings? What capacities do you have for people that might be work limited in some way?
We are flexible. We had a gentleman in Utica that had took care of his daughter. Him and his wife aren't together, so he had his daughter on, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays it is, and needed to take her to the bus stop. So he came in a little bit later. Worked that out with his boss there and made up the time. However, whether he stayed late that day or, came in early on another day. So we are a little bit flexible. Obviously, we do need you there, preferably when our hours are set, but we definitely can work with you as long as we are aware of it. And, you talk to your boss and don't just assume. We are happy to work with you.
Yeah, that's great advice. Always communicate with your boss, right?
Yeah.
That'll solve half your problems if you just make sure you communicate. That's great. And then just in terms of what is the best way to apply, and if for somebody who maybe is really good with a faucet but not so great with online, how can you accommodate them potentially?
If they have, a few of the skills, I would say definitely apply. We'll bring you in, and our team is pretty good at assessing, from the interview, are you good at, taking direction? Are you trainable? Because if you can come in and we can train you on the basic stuff, let's say you're good at electrical, but maybe you don't know the plumbing, or you're good at electrical and plumbing and have never painted or whatever, sorry, my lights are going off on me because I haven't moved enough. Yeah, definitely apply because, if you're willing to learn, and that's another thing, you can move up, both to a different position as well as, your pay. If you are, doing a really good job, and we've had some of our laborers that have moved up from laborers to techs, because when they come on, we like to work with them and teach them in hopes that eventually they will become technicians.
That's great. That's perfect. And I've got the link down there to apply.
Yep.
And one quick question too that kind of came up as you were talking. You did mention transportation kind of is pretty much available once they make it there. Where are you guys located? Are you aware of if it's on a bus line or?
Oh,
or
absolutely.
Okay.
We are on. So we have a property on the north side, which is Hawley Ave area. Property on the east side, which is East Genesee, Fayette Street, and then on the south side, South Salina. So we're totally in the bus route.
That's great. That's great. Anything we didn't hit? I mean, that was pretty thorough. But I know that there's probably quite a few nuances. Anything that you wanted to kind of round everything out with, or that we might have missed?
Yes. Actually, one thing I left out, for the maintenance positions, because we are in dire need, we do have a $5,000 sign-on bonus, $2,500 to start, and then the other $2,500 is split between your 6-month and 1-year anniversary. So
Wow,
that motivates anybody.
that is incredible. And I love that it's.
I was going to say, we didn't touch on benefits.
Yeah, let's do that.
We have full benefits. Our benefits are great. We have 3 different health plans. We have a health savings account. We have a flexible spending account. We have dental. We have vision. We have $50,000 of free life insurance that the company pays for you. You can also do supplemental life insurance. We have a 401k matching after you've been with us 1 year. We have a start of 3 weeks vacation, and after 5 years, you get 5 weeks. We have a week of sick time. We have 3 personal days. You get your birthday off. We have paid holidays. As I think I already stated with maintenance, if you work a holiday, you will get an extra $100 for working the holiday. In addition to coming in and working, you get paid a 2-hour block. Even if you have to come in for 15 minutes, you get paid a 2-hour block for overtime, and in addition to the overtime pay and the $100. So,
wow, Sandy, that's incredible. Love seeing companies that are so forward about taking care of their people.
yeah.
And it sounds like Housing Visions is exactly that. So, wow, that's great. So there you go, $5,000 sign-on bonus. I'm going to watch some YouTube videos so I can apply and get my electrical skills caught up. But that's just an incredible opportunity to be a part of an organization that's really making a difference for a lot of people here, and not only just in Syracuse, but across upstate New York here. So that's really, really great. Sandy, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm going to put you off screen while I wrap up, but if you don't mind hanging out in the green room, I'll chat with you afterwards. And we're really thankful for you joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Great.
Well, if you're interested in employment opportunities through Housing Visions, be sure that you contact your job coach. Let them know that you're interested in the roles that Sandy talked about. And as always, as I close this out, if your brain put up a roadblock, you're concerned about an issue that you have that might prevent you from moving forward on applying at Housing Visions, talk to your coach. I'm going to say it again and again. Your coaches are barrier breakers. They're problem solvers. So if you're work limited, have a legal issue, trying to figure out childcare, reach out to your coach. They're going to work with you on a solution. They'll be happy to sit down with you and do whatever they can to get you a little bit closer to that $5,000 signing bonus and a great culture over at Housing Visions. If you don't know how to reach your coach, you can visit the job seeker page on our website. I'm going to pull up our job seeker page. That's jobsplus.org/job seekers. All right. And if you scroll past all this great information, some information about our services, some upcoming JobsCasts that we have, our past JobsCasts, you can do 2 things right here at the bottom. You can contact your coach just by putting in your name. If you don't know your coach's full name, if you don't know your coach's name at all, you can leave that blank and send a message, attach files, whatever you need to do to communicate to your coach. I will personally make sure that gets to them so that they can get the information from you. The other thing I want to point out is we do have a private Facebook job seeker group. So if you want opportunities that are exclusive to our job seekers, you can click right there on that button and join our Facebook group. There's a few questions you'll have to answer so we know who you are and that you're in fact a client with us, and we will let you into that exclusive group and give you an opportunity to ask questions, to get questions answered, but also to get a steady stream of job opportunities of employers that we're working with specifically to help you get through those application processes. And beyond that, just network within the group, grow your sphere of influence, grow your network here locally of people that might have some jobs to offer you. And lastly, we want to invite you to our next JobsCast with Remedy Intelligent Staffing. We're going to be talking to them live a week from this coming Friday. And so we hope you'll join us. But now let's get to work.